This morning, Israeli airstrikes hit Doha, the capital of Qatar. Qatar is a United States ally. Israel said that it was targeting Hamas leadership that was in Doha there as part of ceasefire negotiations, with the sign-off by Donald Trump, Qatar being a major U.S. ally that just gave Donald Trump an airplane that a lot of Americans thought was a completely corrupt deal, is not too pleased about what's transpired this morning. The Qatari government has released a statement strongly condemning in the harshest terms what it calls a cowardly Israeli attack that targeted residential compounds housing several members of the political bureau of Hamas in the Qatari capital of Doha. The government of Qatar goes on to say this criminal assault constitutes a blatant violation of all international laws and norms and poses a serious threat to the security and safety of Qatari citizens and residents in Qatar. The ministry affirms that security authorities, civil defense, and the relevant agencies immediately began handling the incidents and taking the necessary measures to contain its consequences and ensure the safety of residents in surrounding areas. And again, just to be very clear, I think that Hamas needs to be brought to justice. Attacking an ally in Qatar like that can cause severe instability in the region and spill over and cause a massive blowback against the United States, forcing American military troops potentially to be at risk of their own lives. Amit Segal writes, Israel says the strike on Hamas leadership in Doha was coordinated in advance with the U.S. Mehdi Hassan writes, the U.S. just signed off on an illegal bombing of its own ally, Qatar, from whom Trump just accepted a plane and where Eric Trump was just opening up a golf course. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia just responded as well, denouncing in the strongest possible terms what it calls Israeli aggression and the blatant violation of the sovereignty of the state of Qatar. The kingdom affirms its full support for Qatar. It says, Egypt says Israeli Doha attack sets a dangerous precedent and rejected the development. Egypt says the escalation undermines global efforts for de-escalation in the region. The United Nations, the top UN official, condemned the Israeli attack in Qatar, saying the focus should be on reaching a Gaza ceasefire, not destroying it. And for all intents and purposes, the ceasefire efforts have been utterly destroyed and made more challenging by Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. In my opinion, they have made things worse, of course, in Gaza by far.
With the atrocities being committed there daily, they have made things worse in Ukraine by empowering and emboldening Vladimir Putin the way Donald Trump has. No ceasefire, no bilateral or trilateral agreements, no security guarantees. And we saw Russia have the largest drone strike quantity in the history of its invasion of Ukraine. And Donald Trump just sits there pathetically, blowing up a fishing boat off the coast of Venezuela, which may have had numerous innocent people on there, even if there were drug dealers with cocaine, as the Trump regime claims. Wasn't enough fuel to get that tiny ship off the coast of Venezuela to the United States. And in any event, we don't have the death penalty for drug dealers in the United States. There's a way to deal with it with maximum justice without the United States playing judge, jury, and executioner. And then the president posting on his official account ISIS-style death videos, glorifying the killings of human beings. But what else do you expect from someone like Donald Trump, who is posting things like this? This is coming from Donald Trump's official account. It is a video, a conspiracy-laden video filled with disinformation on vaccines. It says they are all poison, referring to vaccines. Every single one. So again, the Trump regime with RFK Jr. encouraging the return of measles, mumps, polio, rubella, bubonic plague, you name it, they are encouraging it. And Trump continues to post this over and over again. I guess, Donald, anything not to talk about your cover-up of the Epstein files, which need to be released, and the cover-up of Donald Trump's birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 for Epstein's 50th birthday is one of the more pathetic aspects of the overall cover-up. When presented with the actual birthday card that was obtained by Democrats in the House Oversight Committee via a subpoena of the Epstein estate, the Trump regime and all of its sycophants see that it's Donald Trump's signature. It's very clearly his signature in his letter. What the Epstein estate planted it 20 years ago, along with all of the other letters when Donald Trump was close friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, what the hell are you talking about? But now they're going, oh, the signature was a forgery. It wasn't really Donald Trump's signature. Ha ha ha. I mean, if you believe that, then you might as well just believe quite literally anything, which I'm sure a lot of these Macamush brain do. Of course it is his signature. I mean, the broader question is, what does he mean by enigmas? Is that a code word for children? When they say the secrets never age, our secrets never age, is that talking about young girls and children? Is that talking about girlfriends that Trump and Epstein?
Or is it talking about something else? It was during the time period that Epstein was involved in the pedo sex trafficking ring that the Trump regime now wants to cover up. It was at the same time that Epstein and Trump would have 30 girls show up at Mar-a-Lago, and they would be told it's going to be a VIP modeling experience. But when they got there, it was just Donald and Epstein. It's time that Donald Trump said Epstein's a great guy who likes beautiful women, many say on the younger side. You have Donald Trump being on Epstein's plane multiple times, and you have Mar-a-Lago being used as the location where sex trafficking recruiting took place. Now, Donald Trump can say, I didn't know, but that's not what he said. He said Epstein would steal my girls. Who were the girls? Virginia Giuffre, underage girl working in the spa, stolen by Epstein. And Donald Trump at the time said Epstein's a great guy afterwards. And he said that she was stolen. So those are undisputed facts that we know about Donald Trump. But here's the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, MAGA Republican James Comer, who spent over 2 years, more like 4 years, investigating Hunter Biden and showing photos of Hunter Biden's penis at committee hearings. This is what he had to say today, James Comer. The president says he did not sign it, so I take the president's word, Comer told Manu Raju writes from CNN. You asked if I'm going to be trying to figure out whether that, fake or not. Probably not. We're going to be trying to get justice for the victims. Well, the victims spoke. They want a full release of the files. The victims are not stupid, and the victims know that you're using the, quote, victims in order to do the cover-up for the perpetrators. Okay, we realize what the hell's going on there. Democratic Congress member Ro Khanna writes, this can't stop us. We have 218 members of Congress who stand with these survivors to hold pedophiles accountable. And this is in response to the news that the House Rules Committee, controlled by Republicans, vote down a Democratic bid to force a floor vote on the Thomas Massie Republican, Ro Khanna Democrat legislation to force the release of the Epstein files. Cover up after cover up. As Mike Nellis says, they have no defense on Epstein. If this is the best that they got, they can end a scandal tomorrow by just releasing the files. But they've made an intentional decision that not releasing them is better for them politically. Think about that. This cover-up, this secrecy, they've decided it's better for them than whatever is actually in the Epstein files. Folks, when I was a litigator, there was a concept in the law that was called an adverse inference. And what an adverse inference was that when a party in the litigation intentionally spoliated the records, destroyed the records, hid the records, refused to turn over the records, the judge could order what's called an adverse inference, meaning the jury would be instructed whatever they are hiding in those files must be so bad because they're not turning them over that you can now imply liability based on the concealment or destruction of the files. So to me, clearly there's an adverse inference that should be made here if you are a logically thinking human being, but you've got MAGA Republicans like Byron Donald who are not logically thinking human beings. And he said, I've seen that signature. That's not Donald Trump's signature on the birthday card. Of course it's his signature on the birthday card. What's the implication that it's not? That the Wall Street Journal forged it? That the Epstein estate forged it and put it in a book filled with all of these others, letters that were sent to Epstein at the time from his friends when Trump was friends with him? It's the stupidest thing. Of course he sent it. Here, play this clip.
From what I see, it's not his signature. I've seen Donald Trump sign a million things.
This doesn't look like his signature to you?
But when we talk about the stupidest things, I mean, you have a White House right now that's making big preparations for a UFC fight on the White House lawn. So while you have this instability now in the Middle East, while you have Russia accelerating its war efforts against Ukraine, while you have the atrocities being committed in Gaza, while you have Americans suffering here in the United States, can't afford rent, living paycheck to paycheck, prices on groceries and everything is so much higher, the job market is basically destroyed, Donald Trump's planning a UFC cage match on the White Lawn Octagon cage on the South Lawn, full fight card, Lincoln Memorial weigh-ins, jumbo screens on the ellipse, possible Oval Office walkout. Why? Why are we clowning ourselves as a nation like this? UFC can be in UFC stadiums. Why are we politicizing it and making it like this when people are suffering from real serious things, as Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans say? Club Rose Garden, everybody. Club Rose Garden. Look, we're getting stats like this as well from Goldman Sachs. The resilience of the Chinese economy, despite much higher U.S. tariffs, remains impressive. Despite a 33% year-on-year decline in exports to the U.S., overall exports in August grew 4.4% year-on-year as Chinese producers found enough new markets to export channels to pick up the slack. You want to know what that means? That means other countries are now sending their stuff and getting their stuff from China. China has established trading relationships and their goods are going elsewhere, not to the United States, as the United States gets weaker and weaker. Here you have MAGA Mike Johnson, in a press conference this morning, saying that the Democrats need to yield. Let us put our military in your cities. Yield, says MAGA Mike. This pathetic little weasel boy, MAGA Mike. Pathetic little weasel boy up there going, you need to yield and let the troops in. This is the United States of America. We don't want troops marching through cities. That's not the way America works. MAGA Mike, you weasel boy. Here, play this clip.
On display, and we need to confirm to the American people that they do not need to fear for their lives when they drive to the grocery store or they pick up their son or daughter from school. This is common sense, and I cannot for the life of me understand how the Democrats think this is some sort of winning political message. Yield, man. Let the troops come into your city and show how crime can be reduced. It's a morale boost for the country, and it's safe and right for everybody involved. So if they want to go down that road, they're going to go down that road. But we're going to keep talking about common sense, and we're going to keep delivering. Thank you.